Hello, Cherries, and welcome to Live Cherry Sunday, Special Monday, episode 216. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to play dominant 7 triads. Today, I'm going to show you how to play dominant 7 triads to improve your blues. Now, this is going to be really, really cool. I've been doing some triad videos the last few weeks, but I think this is the next step into taking these triads toward improving your blues. I want to say hello to some of my friends here in the chat for joining me on a Monday. So cool of you. Hello. My knees hurt. Hello in bed. Room temperature beer. The cat on my chest. Room is freezing though, so the beer is cold. And so is the cat. All right. Thank you. Howdy. Jeffrey Boyle. What's happening? All right. So hopefully you could hear me out there on my guitar. Let me know if you hear that, all right? So I have a backing track here, and I have some graphs. If you want them, I'll email them to you. Just email me at info@cherry. They're some of the same graphs that I've been using for these triads anyway. I wanted to make a dominant 7 graph, but I didn't have time to do that, but I will do that. So I'm going to convert these graphs to dominant 7th triads. So if you want those, just let me know. So here's the backing track. We'll give it a little go, give it a little example of these dominant triad and inversions. Check it out. If you're enjoying this so far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. Give you a round of applause. All right, Stoned and Gone. That's one of my tunes, Cherry tunes. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoy that. So what I'm doing here is I'm going through the triads, but with dominant chord triads. And stumbled a little bit at first. They're a little tricky, but it's live. And you do it. You keep going. That's the thing. That's the beauty of lives, that you just keep going. So, let me show you some of these graphs that I have here. If I stumble to this thing over here, stumble, the word of the day, right? So check this out. That is the first one. You know that. We are the champions. The Eagles, that's right. Give it up for those Eagles fans out there, you know. What is a blowout? You know, we don't love Super Bowl blowouts, but Eagle fans, I'm sure, do. So check out this triad shape right here. Now, as I was saying, I'm going to make some dominant seventh triad graphs. It's basically going to be just like this, but the root note is just going to be down a whole step. That's all it is. So if you see this A shape right here, you take that root and we just drop it down. That'll go for all these graphs I'm using here today. Basic first root version on the string set 1, 2, 3, and then the E, the B, and the G. You got that. So you take the root and just drop it down. So I'm playing that same triad like this, but I'm dropping it down the root. I'm playing the G, which is the 7th degree now. So now I'm playing it like that. So over that A chord in the blues, you just take that and play the dominant 7 triad. And then I went from the first version to the first inversion. I went from the roots to the first inversion. Now there it is again on this shape right here, this first inversion triad. And I just took that root, the A, and just drop it down to G. So now it looks like this. So once again, you have your third, your fifth. Now you have the 7th. And then the next inversion, second inversion, I went up to here, where it's normally a second inversion, A. But I took that A note, I went down a whole step, played it like that. So now you have your second inversion, A, dominant triad right here. And then I went up again, back to the octave. Same things I did here, back up here. And in that first pass, I tried to stick to just the 3 strings, the top 3 strings, the first string set, which is the E, the B, and the G. Just the top 3 strings. So I played A here, A here, A here. Well, I tried to play A here, but I think I played that one instead. I mean, if I did that on purpose, it would have been cool, right? So there's the A right there, and there's the A right here. And then when I hit the D chord, I looked for the nearest D triad with the dominant 7, and it was right here. And that's the, what you call the second inversion. Just like I played the A second inversion here. But now it's here because here's the D. There's a real D chord right here, right? Well, I just played it right here. Just for a measure. And then I kept going up higher. Because here's a D as well. First inversion, root. Right, root, perfect. Here it is, the D triad. But I just did, once again, I just dropped it down. And back to the A, here's an A right here. First inversion. But I played it with the 7th right here. And then when it went to the E, or actually I went the A here, then I played the A here again. Then it went to the E, I played it right here. Because here's an E, first inversion. But I took the root right there. There's the dominant 7th. Then I played the D, but with the dominant 7th triad. Then I played the A again right here. Into the E. And then I went to another string set, the A. Right there. So, pretty cool. Any questions about this stuff, let me know. I'll give you a round of applause. Thanks for spending some time here with me on a Monday. Couldn't do it yesterday because I was flying home from the Super Bowl. No, just kidding. I was coming home from Washington, D.C., where I played a gig. It was a private party out there for some rich people. They must have been, because it was at this hotel called the Jefferson. And what a beautiful, old, like 100-plus-year-old hotel. But it was really beautiful. It was like, really put us up. And the show was great. And it was all fun. It was good. So I came home yesterday. Couldn't do it yesterday, so what do we do when we can't do it on Sunday? We do it on Monday, right? So, Robert, great question here. How do you handle a chord that is hard to form back from keeping in rhythm? how do you handle a chord that is hard to form, keeping it ready? That's a good question, because just practice it. I was thinking earlier, sometimes sliding from these chords a little tricky, from one to the next. Like, I know I'm going to finger it, like, however I'm going to finger it. If I finger it here, I'll put it up on this so you can see it. That's a great question. Thank you for that. I'll put it over here. So I have them right here as well. But this is where I want to be. If I'm over here, and I know I'm going to slide into this shape, I'll try to position my hand so that I know if I'm going to use this finger. Probably easier with that one, less of a stretch. So if I'm here, and I know I'm going to go, especially on a slide, I'll position my fingers early. If I know I'm going to go to this next one up here, which I messed up again, with this finger, I'm thinking about it already. Okay, so I'm trying to visualize where that next one is, and I know it's right here. So I'm already moving my hand. I'm forming my fingers as I'm moving up to where I'm going. I'm not just getting there then forming them. It's too late by that time. You have to do this, and you have to see, okay, that's the next chord. So your hands are forming as they're moving to the next shape. And I see that that's the next one up here like this. So as I'm going from here, I know how my hands have to be so they're there like that. That's a great question. I mean, I can go into real detail about that, which is a great idea for another video of how, you would move what fingers. Like, just one, and for instance here, if out of these two chords right here, out of this shape, this root shape, and this first inversion, what I'm doing is I'm taking this pointer finger, my middle finger actually, and that's going to the next here. This, my middle finger, no, my ring finger is actually out of the picture right there. It's not doing anything. I'm using my pointer to fret that, and I'm barring it with my pointer as well. So I'm only using these two fingers for this whole thing. So it's pretty easy. You just take this, and I'm going to that, and I'm barring the other strings. But in the case of the seventh, it's a little different, because you have the open G and that. I would be going from that to this. So now I know I'm not using my middle finger, but it's going to be like that, and I'm going into here like that. I'm using my middle finger for this. So it's being not used, and this pointer finger is jumping up to here, and I'm using my pinky to play the seventh. So it comes from practice and figuring out the easiest way. I think the easiest way to maneuver your fingers from one chord to another. There's a lot of good ideas we could talk about as far as particular chords, maybe some of the cowboy type of chords, and general ways that you would always finger a chord. But then there's lots of other type of shapes that once you just keep playing the shapes, you start to play them with certain fingers that you're used to anyway. And when it comes from transitioning chords from one to another, you would automatically go to the finger that you're used to. It becomes just like habit, which is basically what guitar is, muscle memory and habit a lot, right? So hopefully that answered your question a little bit, Albert. And so what I did on this backing track, or what I tried to do, is I went, let's try one more little pass at this, what we just practiced. So we started off with this shape, then we went to this first inversion, then we went to the second inversion, and back to the root. And when the D came up, I said, well, where's the nearest D? Right here. Well, here's the D shape. So here's the D7 triad. And I have one more beat, one more measure of D, so here's another one here. And then back to the A, which is, I'm using this shape. So I'll put it over here on this screen so you can see that, and we'll play along with this one. Here we go. So any questions about this stuff, let me know. It's pretty cool. And that's all on one string set. Actually, when I went back down to the A, I played the E down here. I should have played the E right here. And then play the A right there again. Just to try to keep it for the video purposes of the lesson. A here, E, and then probably A right here again. So let's try that for the purposes of this video. Here we go. Where's that? How's that? Right there. One more time here. So we did it all on one string set, which was cool. I mean, just allows you to play different stuff all over here, and you could, incorporate it into licks and stuff all over the neck, which is the whole idea of this. You wouldn't just want to bang out. I mean, you could. It's cool to know your rhythms all over there, but you could add licks within that, which we've made videos on adding licks in between the triads, which is really, really cool. So, yeah, good stuff. Playing some blues here, rocking out. Yeah, in this first position right here. Up here. Up here. To this. So playing all those licks within those shapes are pretty cool and pretty fun too. It's just a way to get around the fretboard and playing different positions, things like that. Lots of fun. Hopefully you're enjoying that. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. All the groovy stuff. Here's a question. Roberts, do the chords you're using involve the root note from the first chord you play? Do the chords you're using involve the root note from the first chord you play? Can you explain more about the root note? It was 4. Sorry, I'm slow. No, that's all good. I'm slow as well. The chords you're using involve the root note. Yeah, all of them involve the root note here. That's what the inversions are of these. Like for instance, if we play the triad right here, here's the root note. But actually, okay, so these particular triads don't involve the root note. And when you're playing licks, yeah, they do, but in this chord right here. So I'm leaving out the so as you can see right here, here's the first 3. If you could see that. The roots. And also what I could do here, just to make it a little bit easier, is I could probably blow me up a little bit more. Look at that. How cool is that? It's like Do a little shifty here on you. Something like that. Okay. That first triad up there, you'll see it up there. I'm taking that root and I'm dropping it down to the 7th. So there's no root in there anymore. But the root is, you don't need to play the root here, right? Especially if there's a guitar going or a bass doing that in A. You don't have to play the A. The A is already there. So I can play that 7th right there. Same thing up here. The next one is up here, first inversion, triad set, first inversion. I'm dropping it to the 7th. So there is no root. If that's what you're talking about, there's no root. No root 66, Jeffrey Boyle. Right there. And up there on the second inversion, taking that 3rd again. So there's no root. But we all know where the root is. And you can keep going back and forth with them. So you can play the root. It's hard to play this one. So great question. Really great question there, Robert, for that. So do the chords you're using involve the root note from the first chord you play? So no, they don't involve the root note. So we're taking away the root note to make the 7th. Now, I will, like I was saying, I will make better graphics that indicate the 7th with the 3rd and the 5th as opposed to the root 3rd, 5th. So that would probably clear it up a little bit. But for now, with the graphs I'm using, all the roots, and it's pretty cool to see them because in any roots chord or any triad, you take the root and you drop it down a whole step, and it's going to be a dominant it's going to be a 7th, a minor 7th. And it's a minor 7th in this case too. A minor 7th meaning just a whole step down from the root. If it was a half step down from the root, that would be a major 7th. It would sound like this. So if I went like this, like instead of going a whole step down to the G, here's the A, regular A. It's dominant 7. If I went down a half step, and that's a major sound right there. That's a major 7th. Very pretty sounding, right? It's a totally different sound. If I took this next inversion and went down just a half step, I have another pretty major 7 chord. Same thing up here. Went down a half step. You have that chord. And up here, same thing. Totally different sound. Major 7th or minor 7th. Now, I only say that the minor 7th, I call it a dominant chord in this case because it's only a dominant chord if it's a major over a major chord, right? Dominant 7th or major. You could have a minor 7th over a minor chord. That would be like if it was a minor triad. So I'm dropping that 7 right there. You know? This was minor. 7th would be like this. Same thing here. Same thing here. But we're playing dominant major. So it's major. Going off the rails a little bit. but having some fun. It's Monday. What else would you rather be doing than playing guitar and getting your kicks on Route 66? Jeffrey Boyle says. So any more questions about this stuff, let me know. Let's go into this next string set, which is cool, because why stay up here in the first strings? Let's play down here on the next two strings right here. How cool is that to play on these strings? The second, the third, and the fourth. So check this out. Here's an A7 there. There's the root, which is the, I'll just pull this up here. What would it be? I don't have the perfect graphs yet, but I think we'll start off down here with this one, okay? This is the normal string set right here. Second string set, fifth, root, third. And like we were talking about, we take that root, we drop it down to the seventh. Just drop it down a half step. I mean a whole step. There you have that. So now it's a dominant. In this particular case, it's an A triad with a dominant seventh. You have the fifth, the seventh, and the root. Then we take that and we just move it up. Well, we'll move it up to here, to the first position. But once again, we'll take that root, we'll drop it down here. So now we have the dominant seven. So the next one, here's the first inversion, right there. We take that root, and we have a seventh triad right here. Then went right back to the octave again, what we did down here. So I went like this, without any of those graphs right there, we went like this, we went. Right up the inversions. Then we went to the 4 chord. I thought, well, on this string set, out of just these 3 triad shapes, which is always going to be the, the roots, the third and the fifth, but in this case, the dominant 7, the third and the fifth, we only have 3 shapes. So sticking to that, where's a D that's similar to this? Well, right here. Because here's a D chord, first inversion. You might recognize this D, this power chord looking thing right here, like play it like this. Same thing here, but I moved it up starting on the third. Very popular looking chord everyone uses. Instead of playing a D here, people play it here. It's the same thing here. So that's a D when I go to it. Now the 7th, see, I'll even show you the graph right here. It's the same thing we ended up on before. Here's the third, the fifth, the root. So that's a D7 triad. So we went right from the last A to right here. Really nice movement because you have a lot of, this finger goes up a whole step. This one goes up a whole step. And this note goes down chromatically. So you have that, which is really nice sounding. Have that change. To the D. Then I went up to this one, this D right here, which is another shape that we used already. It's the second inversion. We use that right here. We use it first. Nope, we use that. Where is it? I'm not quite in order here. It's this one. Instead of using this second inversion, I dropped the root. So all you're doing is you're seeing these triads that you're going to use over and over and over again, and you're just manipulating them based on what it is that you want to do with it. Here's the second inversion triad, which is just part of a bar chord that you use. You're just starting on the fifth. We're taking it, I'm taking this root note and moving it down a whole step. There it is. So when I went to the D chord, I played. Actually, I didn't play it yet, but I'm going to. D, and back to an A here. And to an A here. And then the E, same thing, this first inversion, E, but with a root. No, not first inversion, root inversion. Here's the 7th, the D here. Then I played the A again, right here. Then I played an E right here. And to an A here. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we could do this here with the music. A little bit of music. Check it out. Pretty cool. So once again. So, pretty cool. Playing it on different string set up there. And it's fun. It's really fun to know these different shapes in different places. It's helpful. It's then when you tie them all into each other, it just gives you a very good idea of the fretboard and fretboard memorization, things like that. So any questions about that, please let me know right here. And didn't even ask you, what are you drinking? Because there was a big game, a Super Bowl yesterday, and we got some Eagles fans out here. I'm a Steelers fan, Pittsburgh Steelers, so I think we could have beat both of those teams. Not. But I'll tell you what, the Chiefs looked kind of like the Steelers last night. They couldn't do much of anything. It was pretty bad, pretty sad for them. But for some reason, I had a feeling it was going to be a blowout. I really thought it was going to be a blowout because when the Chiefs came out, it seemed like everyone, like the stadium was booing a bit, like maybe they were just tired of the Chiefs, whatever. But when the Eagles came out, it was electric, people going crazy, and I just had this feeling. And I said, "This is going to be a blowout." I said it right there, and in the back of my head, I was like, "Probably won't be," but my first impression, my first thoughts, I'm like, "This is going to be a blowout." And the Eagles were really good this year. They're a really, really good team, and they smoked them. They beat the champs. Now they're the champs. How about that? I can only wish that our team, whoever team that you like out there, whether it's the Bills or the Saints or I'm not even going to say the Cleveland Browns, the Steelers, like my team, one day it'll all come back around and it'll be your team that's there. That's the way it is. That's the beauty of it. So, Clarence. Great question here. So to play the dominant 7 triad, just drop the root 2 frets. 1 whole step, thanks. That's exactly right. You nailed it, Clarence. That's exactly right. The dominant triad, you're just taking everything that we've been talking about and just drop them down. I'm going to make charts, correct charts for these, so it won't be today, probably in the next few days. I'm leaving town again early in the morning tomorrow. So take that, go down on the A chord, go down, A up here, A up here. 4 chord. Right here's the D right here, right? Drop that root. Pulse it down. Here's the D here. D. Back to the A. E, D, A, E, A. Hear the sound? It's really the sound of the blues that's really happening just by changing these root to sevenths. It's a really good exercise to do that too, because you really hear that. You can hear that. Oops. And the 4 chord. 7th. Root. Or 1 chord. 5 chord. 4 chord. 1 chord. 5 chord. 1 chord. All right. My niece heard I saw exactly 0% of the game. Play guitar all day. That is really great. Really, really, really cool. The way it should be. Right there. All right. That's great. Great practice. Great dedication right there. Because, you know, football, what does it do for you, really? Watching football is not making your guitar playing better. That's for sure. It's hard to adjust chords to a singer who asks you to play in different tuning. That's an interesting question here. Is it hard to adjust chords to a singer who asks you to play in a different tuning for a standard song? So it's interesting that somebody would ask to play in a different tuning for a standard song. Just chords for a singer who asks you to play. Like, why would you play? I mean, if there's specific reasons why you have to play in different tunings, okay. I don't know why you'd have to play in different tuning unless the song calls for it. So, hard to adjust chords for a singer actually playing different tuning for a standard song. You just have to adjust accordingly, I would think. You know, you're not changing the key of a song. You're not playing in a different key. You're just adjusting the tuning for it. So it would be the same type of thing. You know, if your tuning's different, you have to make those adjustments accordingly. I don't know what kind of tuning you're talking about. If it's like some kind of open tuning, then you would find the root notes in there and then adjust them accordingly to whatever. So it would be the same type of thing. So let's see. Instead of playing an E, playing an A, because the singer, oh, I see. Instead of playing an E, playing an A, because the singer can't sing an E. Well, yeah, so really you're not adjusting the tuning of the guitar. You're just adjusting the key that you're playing it in. So in that case, it's all the same right there. It would be, and the great thing about these charts here is that you're not really changing anything. They're not specifying any particular key. Like you play the same thing in E right here. Like for instance, check this out. Let's see if I have a, what I could do. I can make a loop real quick. I don't have a shuffle right here, but we'll play just this groove right here. More of a straight rock and roll. It'll be like this. Like. A little cleaner. Check it out. 2, 3, 4. Save this. All right, so that's saved. Now it's the same thing. Now you have a blues in E. So you would take the same type of thing right here. Now check this out. You go ahead and instead of playing an A, like on the string set, you have this root right here, E. So we can start right there, and now just drop it down. So same thing, take the root here, go up to this next E, first inversion, go up to this E, second inversion. It's hard to get up here. And then the A's right here, 4 chord. And the E again right here. Back to this E right here. And here's a B, 5 chord, A, E, A, B. So if we played over that, starting here, it would be like a, check this out. I think I used the same, we'll start this. Forgot which looper I was using here. So yeah, same type of thing. Hopefully I answered that for you. If I didn't, I just went on a whole long rant and created a whole new loop just to play this in E now. But that's what I do for you here. You know, it's the same thing in all the keys. Once you know these shapes, the 3 shapes, it's all the same. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I use the same 3 shapes. The root inversion, the root version, the first inversion, and the second inversion. Same thing I've been doing in A the whole time. Root version, first inversion, same thing in A up here. So it went to the 4 chord. What's the 4 chord of E? Well, A. Well, we know all those already because we've been playing. I took those triad shapes, I just dropped the root. So you can play 7th arpeggio, 7th triads. Back to the E. Here's the E shape. Here's another E, 7. Here's another E, 7. This one you can't do it because you have just the root 3rd. I can't take this E and drop it unless I tune it down to a D, but a lot of people play it like this. But that technically is the 3rd root. It's kind of a displacement type of thing where it's technically, you know, you could do that. It's another type of dominant triad right there because you're playing the 3rd. There's an ambulance or a fire truck going by. We are in Brooklyn, New York here. The 3rd, the 7th, the 5th. You could do triads that way. So I'm leaving out the right there. I'm leaving out the 3rd, with the 7th, and the octave. I'm leaving out the 5th here. So I'm using the octave, which you don't really need because you got the E here. You don't need the A there. I mean the E. It's like the Credence song. Right? There we go. Copyright claim. Right there. So that's a triad too. I'm just playing the root and the 7th. I mean, it's a nice sound together. You can do the up here and the A. instead of doing this way, play it this way. Lots of ways, but for the purpose of this video, we're using the triads that we already know, and we're just dropping it. But I couldn't do it here, so I just played it straight. How's that? A little flat? No, it's too sharp. Oops. Hold on. Close enough there for rock and roll. Can't get my guitar in tune here. Let me use a tuner. There we go. Alright. Same thing right there. Alright. That is the so same thing over E. When we went to the 5 chord, it's just the B. Same thing, B. I drop the 7th. All the same shapes. B here, or B here, B here, B there. To B or not to B. Here's a B. Root inversion, or root version. First inversion. Second inversion. Back to the E. B being the 5 chord. Or right here at the B. A little fancy, trying to think I know something about jazz or anything, playing the altered scale. B altered scale. 5 chord, altered scale into the root. So, let's see, I missed a few questions here from you guys. Let me just see. Yeah, we got that. Instead of playing E, we went through that whole long thing about playing in different keys. Same thing. That's the beauty of it. And now, going to different string sets too are just as cool too. Like on the second string set, so you have that. You have all these chords. Right? Like that E right there. Here's the E right there. Here's the E. The same thing back to the A, the 4 chord. Here's an E. All the closest inversions, you'll start to see wherever you are. Well, I know a chord that's right next to it. So if you're soloing, you'll see it. That's the beauty of playing these in different locations. This E here, or this E right here. This E right here. This E right here. Because when I go to the A, so now I know. 7th of A, and then it goes right into the E, the 3rd of the E. To the B, where's the B, the closest B? It's another A right here. Back to the E. Fun stuff, going off on a ramp, but that's kind of where we're leading to here. All right, my niece are cool of CCR got sued for sounding like the singer of CCR. You did. Oh no, the singer of CCR got sued for sounding. You got sued for sounding like. Imagine that. You get like a letter in the mail. We heard you on YouTube singing somewhere. You sound too much like John Fogerty. All right, singer of CCR got sued for sounding like CCR. And didn't John Fogerty get sued for singing his own songs? Something like that. That's crazy. The music industry. What a joke, right? Robert, can you play triads with octave chords? Can you play triads with octave chords, or do they not fit? So, what do you mean by octave chords? Like a full bar chord? Like a full chord, like an A right here? Because here's an octave chord, so to speak. I mean, here's the A. There's 3 A's in this. Technically, you are playing triads with this. Because within this particular bar chord here lies everything. Look, here's the A chord right here. Think about it. Here it is right here. Look at the top part of it. First 3 strings. That's your first inversion of the triad. Starting on the 3rd, 5th there. Look at this one right here. All right, so now the 2, 3, 4 strings. It's right here. That's the first inversion. Root. Now look at this next one right here. There's 3 triads within this particular bar chord. Look, in this part, the 5th, it's a different string set. Now you're on the 3, 4, 5 string set. Here's the 5th, the octave, and the 3rd. So you have this, you have this, you have this. This one you don't because it's just a power chord. Because you have the root, the 5th, and there. So within this, probably didn't discuss this too much, and it's probably the most important thing, is that you have 3 triads right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could do licks like here on each string set around this chord. Right here. Same thing here. Right? Stuff just like that. So 3 triad shapes all within one chord right here. And they do fit, I think. I think that's what you're asking. I'm not quite sure. And yes, something like that. He went solo and got sued. He won. Hopefully. That's good. That's good news about CCR. But yeah, Robert, hopefully that answered your question about that. Octave chords, they fit in. Yeah, so those triads are in there. And, all of the, manipulating the triads are in there too. And here, you got all the 7th right there. And then here, 7th right there. Triad right here, the 7th. Over here. So you have the 7th. All within this one chord. So wherever there's a root, there's a 7th. 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 Now it's the same one on this different string set. It's the same note. But I'm starting on the 5th. Instead of starting on the 7th. Starting on the 5th. It's like arpeggios. And it's the same thing with the A full up here. Once again, you have this triad shape, the root on the first 3 strings. Same thing here on the 2, 3, 4 string. Same thing here. And now it would be a power chord here. So you have one less string set, unless you go open, 5th here, the A. That's more of a power chord too. You only have 2 notes there, the E and the A. You want it to be metal, and just go. All right. So, very, very cool. Hopefully you're enjoying this. I think we had a good time here so far doing this. And there's 2 more string sets we don't really have time to get into today, but it's really, we did the first 2 up here, and it was just a lot of fun, you know, playing, instead of playing just up here, you know, we took them down here and we played them. But, you know, you could take the same things here. Here's the A chord. You know this A right here. Since you can't play it full, here's an A chord here. It's just a power chord, root, 5th. There. So you'd play it here, 3rd, 5th, and it would look like it would be a first inversion up here. Where is it? Right there. No, that's the root version. Second inversion. That's not it. That's the second inversion. Looking for the first inversion. Right there. Yeah. Here it is. Right here. So you take this. You just drop that root. So that's the 7th on this chord. Totally different shape than the first 2. Drop the root. Then the next one will be up to here. This inversion, which would be the second inversion. Sorry, I'm flashing through these. Then you take the root, which is right here. Drop it down. Inversion. And of course, then you have the root inversion, which should be right up here first. These are a little backwards here. So you play the A, you have a combination of A, 7. Just like that. Doubling it up right here. And you see here's the D right here. And A right here. Back to the A here. You have an E like this, which is basically just the root version of the E, dropping this to the 7th. And here's a D. And here's that first A again. Then you could do the E anywhere, probably just right here. So I'm singing the E, second inversion, but dropping the E to a 7th, and then to an A. Nope, that's not an A. It would be like there's an A right there. But that's a different string set. That's right here again. Right there again. So, pretty cool stuff right there. And then you would have the last one, which would be just on the A string here. Drop it down to 7. Right? Take this next inversion right here. A lot like the 3-4-5 string set, the 4-5-6. It's right there. Then you have another one right here. Second inversion. Taking the root. That was this one right here. Then you have the last one, which is right up here. Back up to the A again here. And easy way to remember these, if you could picture the regular triads like this, the shape right here, right, of the A, here's the second inversion A. Well, I'm just picturing in my head, like, okay, if I want to go to this second inversion A, I'm seeing it right here over whatever chord I want to go to. Here's A. I'm saying here's the 5th, the A, the 3rd. And if I want to do the 7th, I'm picturing this. And I'm also picturing, okay, well, the 7th is a whole step down from the root. So I could kind of go to this, but then go to the note I want to hit. So I'm going to the shape I'm familiar with, but I also know that I want to hit the 7th note. Which is great because it's right next to D. And look, I hit the D chord. When I took the seventh, took the root, and I went right down to the seventh. So right off this A, 7. And here's the third of A. Here's an E. To an A. That's actually an A. 7 chord. All right. Went a little deep here today. And give you all a round of applause for hanging out with me here today. Thank you so much, guys. You're amazing. Thanks for hanging out on a Monday. Man, he said great information today at Cherry Treatment. Have a great one, everyone. Yeah, have a great week, everybody. And if you want any of these graphs, if you want the new ones I'm going to make, just let me know. They're the seventh chord versions of these. So email me at info@JerryCherry. Clarence, so do the dominant 7 triads fit in exactly the same shapes within the dominant 7 chords? Thanks. They do. Absolutely. It depends on what fingering you are, but for the most part, the dominant 7 triads fit exactly within dominant 7 chords. So that basically they are the same exact thing, except that you're not really focusing on playing a full chord everywhere. You're playing just 3-note triads, which you're emphasizing the 7th and the 3rd, really. The root and the 5th is flexible. There, you can do either or, because the root, you already have another chord of the bass playing the root, and the 5th, it's pretty much gonna be a 5th because, but we played the 5th, 3rd, 5th roots, 3rd, 5th, 7th everywhere, and you hear how it sounds. I mean, it works really well over things. Experiment mixing up different ones, but essentially, all of these 7th triads fit perfectly in within the dominant 7 chords for sure. So thanks for spending some time here with me. Really, really cool to do this on a Monday and have you guys here hanging out here with me. So my knees hurts, Roberts, and everyone who popped in here today, Clarence, Jeffrey Boyle, thank you so much for popping in. We had a good time playing some blues here today. We'll take it away with just a pass at some blues in A. Check this out. Here we go. Off the rails, having some fun. Tasty playing. Thank you so much. Stone and gone. Love you guys. Remember, be cool, be kind, and be cherry. And if you want to see another video where I did some more stuff on triads, I'll put that right up there. But have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday, because I'm flying home on Monday. So it'll be not Sunday, but Tuesday. I will see you then, guys. Have a great day, a great week. I love you. Be cool.